Picture a vast forest, silent and untouched, hiding a dark secret. A missing person's body buried in a shallow grave. The police are stumped, with no leads to follow. Then, one hero steps forward, a Labrador Retriever with a nose that can find what's lost. This is the gripping true story of how a police dog unearthed the truth in the forest burial case. Stay with us. You won't believe what this canine discovered. A vanishing without a trace. In a small American town surrounded by dense forests, a missing person case sent shockwaves through the community. A local resident, known for their quiet life, disappeared without explanation, leaving behind worried family and friends. The police launched an exhaustive search, combing the town and nearby woods, but weeks passed with no sign of the missing person. Hope began to fade, and the case seemed destined to remain unsolved until a Labrador Retriever police dog was called in, its extraordinary scent detection skills turning despair into discovery. Welcome to Beyond Facts TV, where we uncover true crime stories that go beyond the headlines. Today, we're diving into the forest burial case, a haunting tale of loss, persistence, and a canine hero who brought answers to a grieving community. A quiet life disrupted. The missing person, whose identity we'll withhold out of respect, was a familiar face in their small town. In their late 40s, they lived a modest life, working a steady job and spending time with family. They were known for their reliability, always showing up for work, always there for neighbors in need. The town, nestled near sprawling forests, was a place where people valued their connection to nature, often hiking or camping in the nearby woods. But it was also a place where secrets could hide in the vast wilderness. On the day of their disappearance, the person left home as usual, perhaps for a routine errand or a walk. When they didn't return, their family grew anxious, contacting friends and checking local spots. A missing person report was filed, and the police sprang into action. Volunteers joined officers in searching the town, nearby fields and forest trails. But no trace was found. No wallet, no phone, no clues. Rumors swirled. Had they wandered off? Met with an accident? Or was something more sinister at play? The community held vigils, clinging to hope, but the lack of evidence was disheartening. The police needed a miracle, and that miracle would come from a Labrador Retriever named Hunter, whose nose would uncover the truth hidden deep in the forest. A body hidden in the woods. The reality behind the disappearance was far darker than anyone hoped. The missing person had been murdered, their body buried in a shallow grave in a remote section of the forest. The killer, someone known to the victim, acted out of motives that remain speculative. Perhaps a personal dispute, jealousy, or a moment of rage. After the murder, the perpetrator took careful steps to conceal their crime. They transported the body to the forest under cover of darkness, choosing a secluded spot far from trails or roads. Digging a shallow grave, they buried the victim, covering the site with leaves, branches, and soil to blend with the surroundings. The killer believed the forest's vastness would protect them. No one would think to search such a remote area, and nature would erase any traces over time. They returned to town, resuming their routine as if nothing had happened, deflecting suspicion with practiced ease. The police, unaware of the crime, treated the case as a missing person investigation, focusing on accidents or voluntary disappearance. But as weeks passed, suspicions of foul play grew. A person of interest emerged, a local with inconsistent alibis and a connection to the victim. Without a body, however, the police lacked the evidence to make an arrest. The case hinged on finding the victim, and that's where Hunter, The Labrador Retriever would make all the difference. Hunter, the grave finder. Enter Hunter, a Labrador Retriever, whose name became synonymous with hope in this case. Hunter was a highly trained member of the police canine unit, specializing in cadaver detection. Unlike tracking dogs that follow live scents, cadaver dogs like Hunter are trained to locate the chemical signatures of human decomposition, even through soil, water, or vegetation. Their noses can detect traces invisible to humans or machines, making them invaluable in missing person cases. Hunter's training was extensive, involving years of work with his handler to distinguish the scent of human remains from countless other smells in complex environments like forests. When Hunter was brought to the investigation, the police had narrowed the search to a section of the forest based on tips and the person of interest's movements. But the area was massive. Hundreds of acres of dense trees, underbrush, and uneven terrain. A human search would take weeks, with no guarantee of success. Hunter's handler, a seasoned canine officer, trusted his partner's instincts. They started at a trailhead near where the suspect was last seen, giving Hunter a general area to work. With his nose to the ground, Hunter moved methodically, weaving through trees and over streams. After hours of searching, he froze, his tail stiff, and began digging at a spot covered with leaves. His barks echoed through the forest, alerting the police. They carefully excavated the site, uncovering a shallow grave containing the missing person's body. Hunter had found what no one else could, providing the critical evidence to move the case forward. A killer exposed. Hunter's discovery was the turning point that transformed the investigation. The body, though decomposed, was identified as the missing person through forensic analysis. The cause of death pointed to foul play, and the grave's location corroborated suspicions about the person of interest. The police focused their efforts on the suspect, a local with ties to the victim and a history of erratic behavior. Evidence began to mount. The suspect's vehicle had been seen near the forest around the time of the disappearance, and items found at their home, including a shovel with soil matching the burial site, tied them to the crime. During questioning, the suspect's story unraveled. Alibis contradicted witness statements, and their demeanor grew defensive. Faced with the body's discovery and mounting evidence, they eventually confessed, revealing details that matched the crime scene. The confession was a relief to the victim's family, who had endured weeks of uncertainty. The case moved to trial, where Hunter's role was a focal point. Prosecutors highlighted the canine's precision in locating the grave, emphasizing how it provided the evidence needed to secure justice. The suspect was convicted of murder, sentenced to life in prison, bringing closure to a community shaken by loss. Hunter's work not only solved the case, but also honored the victim's memory, ensuring their story was told. The legacy of Hunter. The forest burial case is a powerful testament to the extraordinary abilities of police dogs like Hunter, whose keen nose uncovered a hidden truth and brought a killer to justice. This story of a Labrador Retriever's search through a forest reminds us that even the most concealed crimes can't escape a canine's instincts. The victim's family found answers, thanks to Hunter's heroism and the police's dedication. If you were moved by this tale, please like, share, and subscribe to Beyond Facts TV for more true crime stories. Know more about this case or other canine stories? Comment below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.